Hey, what's up, forum? It's Gorilla Hands, and today I'm bringing you some more Gears of War 3 beta footage. It's the second half of a game of King of the Hill on the map Trenches, and like I said before, this is my favorite game mode just because there always seems to be a lot of action. But apparently it's structured a little differently from Gears of War 2. So one of the things that are different is in this game, the King of the Hill, or the ring that everyone's fighting for, actually rotates around the map. I think in Gears of War 2 it was static, it just stayed in one location the entire time. And the score limit in order to win a match is different from this game versus Gears of War 2. In Gears 2, I think it's 120 points, and in this game it's 170. And how it works in this game is as points or you can see to the right, the points are slowly decrementing. It starts at 75 and it goes down to 0. And once it hits 0, it moves to another location on the map. Another thing that's different between this game and Gears of War 2 is in Gears 2, whenever you took control of the ring, or the King of the Hill, your team couldn't respawn. And the reason they did that is they just didn't want a team to come in, capture the ring, and then absolutely dominate the enemy team. Because it doesn't move position, so once you take control of it, I guess it could create for some really one-sided matches. So it would create kind of a last stand scenario, as your team would fight until the last couple of people, and then eventually all get killed defending that ring, and then the other team would have the ability to then retake the ring. So in this game, I guess they don't have to worry about including a respawn inhibitor because the ring's moving around and they don't have to worry about a team setting up shop in one location and holding it throughout the entire course of a match. And being the ADD person that I am, although I didn't play Gears of War 2, I would imagine that I would like this model more than how they do it in Gears 2, just because I would probably get a little bored if I died and I had to sit and watch on the sidelines as the rest of my team's picked off and wait for the other team to reclaim the ring before I was able to respawn. Now, I'm not sure how it works in Gears 2, maybe you guys can clarify if you played the game, but in this game, if you wanted to break the enemy's control over the ring, you just have to jump into it. Just one person has to jump into it for like a half a second and it breaks control. It doesn't matter how many of the enemy team is located in the ring. As long as one person from the opposing team is in there, it breaks control. Now, you'll capture the ring faster with the more people that are in the ring, but for some reason, all it takes is one person to break that control. I'm not sure how legitimate of a strategy this is, but I've noticed in some of the games while playing the beta, if a team can't break someone's defensive control over the ring, they just can't get in there and clear everybody out and recapture it, then I guess this is a last-ditch effort. They'll go on these suicide runs, and they'll charge the ring, and they just make sure that if they're downed, they get downed inside the ring. Because, like I said before, it takes one person to break control. And once that control is broken, in order to regain control, you have to kill the guy that's downed in the ring, and then recapture it all over again. Depending on the number of people that are around it, it could take a little while to recapture the King of the Hill. So during that entire time, nobody's capturing any points. And I've noticed people doing that just as a means to prevent one team from getting a much larger lead over another team. There's also a couple of hills in certain levels that once your team has captured it and set up a good defensive position, it's almost impossible for the enemy team to retake it, at least if your team knows what they're doing. If you don't have the mortars, then I think one of the hardest hills to recapture is the hill that pops up where I just spawned. Just because it's almost like a firing range as you run up that hill and try to clear out everybody in the trench to recapture it. On the flip side though, if you do have the mortar strike and you know how to aim it, it's normally pretty easy to retake the hill. Just because if the enemy team remains in the trenches, I've seen a lot of people get double and triple kills just by launching the mortar strike into that position. And once everybody's cleared, your team can run back up the hill and recapture the ring uncontested. Another ring that can be hard to recapture is the ring located behind the checkout lines on the map checkout. And the reason it can be so hard to recapture that ring is because there's a lot of cover that you can use to hide behind once you capture it, and also there's long lines of sights so you can see as the enemy approaches. And what people like to do is they'll hide behind one of the checkout aisles, and as an enemy's running down one of those lanes, they'll pop out and blow them away with the shotgun. Or if you have the digger launcher, you can jump between those lanes and fire it off and blow people apart. Now, for people who haven't seen the digger launcher yet, it works sort of like a grenade launcher, except the projectile that it fires burrows underground and moves in a straight line. And if an enemy gets within proximity of that projectile, it'll burst out of the ground and explode in midair, kind of like a bouncing Betty. And the nice thing about that launcher is it's a fire and forget weapon, so you don't have to control when their projectile explodes. Just whenever you launch it underground, it will know to explode once it gets within proximity of an enemy. But I've been having a lot of fun playing this game mode. I haven't been playing it enough yet to come up with any ideas or suggestions on how to improve upon this game type, but maybe you guys that have been playing Gears for a while can come up with something. And also, for the guys that have played Gears 2, and they're going to be playing the beta, let me know which model of King of the Hill you guys enjoy more to play. But that's it for this game. If you guys are enjoying these Gears of War 3 gameplay videos, let me know because I can certainly do more. I can't really provide a whole lot of advice on how to play the game because I'm so new, but if you guys are enjoying them, I don't have a problem putting more up in the future. And as always guys, take it easy.